And the opposition has jumped in. The Congress says this is inhuman. If migrants want to go back home, how can the Karnataka state government stop them from going back? Now, this is a real concern because you've got migrants who for 40 plus days have been itching to get back home. They now think migrants in other states are going back. They want to go back as well. And you've got the state government which is telling them that no, you stay here because we have to get industry up and running again. Take a look at this story.
At this migrant camp, 10 kilometers away from the heart of Bengaluru, these workers are seething with anger. Distressed and distraught during the lockdown. They have one demand, that they be allowed to return home.
हम लोग को यहाँ परेशानी है सर, खाने के लिए पहले लॉकडाउन में कोई खाना नहीं दिया, कोई परेशानी नहीं दिया। जब हम लोग का सरकार ले रहा है तो हम लोग जाना चाहते हैं, जाने भेजिए।
मैं बिहार से हूँ और मैं गांव जाना चाहता हूँ, हम सभी गांव जाना चाहते हैं। यहाँ पे हम लोगों को कोई सुविधा नहीं मिल रहा है।
वो एक इधर का स्टाफ है, उसने मेरे को मारा डंडा से और अभी भी कह रहा है कि अंदर घुसने नहीं दूंगा कंपनी का। 1.5 महीना से घर से पैसा लाके खा रहा हूँ सर, और फिर हमको उल्टा मार रहा है सर।
On Tuesday, in a late-night move, the Karnataka government decided to cancel all train and bus services for migrants. The decision came after builders held a meeting with the Chief Minister. The meeting was held specifically to discuss the issues related to migrant labours.
ಮೊನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ಬಿಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಉಳಿದ ಪ್ರಮುಖರ ಜೊತೆ ಸಮಾಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗಲೂ 1.5 ತಿಂಗಳು ನಾವು ಸಂಬಳ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಊಟ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
The decision came as a surprise as the Karnataka government had already sent back close to 11,000 migrants since Sunday. 2 trains carrying 2,390 migrants left for Bhubaneswar and Danapur. On Monday, 2 more trains carried around 3,500 migrants back to Bihar and Rajasthan. And on Tuesday, 1,200 migrants boarded a train to Uttar Pradesh. The decision to stop the trains has set off a big political war, with the Congress accusing the B.S. Yediyurappa government of yielding to the builder lobby.
See, you have to consider this section as the nation builders. They are not the ordinary migrants or they are not the laborers. They are the people who have built this country. We have to take them into confidence. We should not see it is their right. We should not stop them.
Under fire, the Karnataka government is in damage control mode.
Even if they go to their places, they'll be put into quarantine. Is it not going to serve any purpose? See, they are going with a lot of hopes to go and see their people. They'll not be allowed. And moreover, this traveling, inconvenience, paperwork, these, that, it is a lot of inconvenience both.
Now, who are interested, they are staying here. If they are not interested, they will be sent back.
But trains are cancelled.
No, train, if there is demand, definitely we'll request the Honorable Chief Minister.
The Karnataka government has been desperate to kickstart the economy, and the real estate sector is a big player.
We wanted support from the government in terms of infrastructure, movement of goods, movement of material. The way it works in our industries, you need to pay them in advance. Yes. Many of them also have taken hand loans for their personal needs. So, for somebody to say that they have not been paid is factually incorrect.
Save lives or livelihoods? That's the big question that Karnataka seems to be grappling with.
If the migrants are allowed to leave, these sectors will be in tatters, while some claim that the rule not to allow the migrants to go home has infringed upon their rights. Nevertheless, the state of Karnataka is firm in its resolve to rebuild its economy. With media journalist Madhuwar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
Now here is a real challenge that the government in Karnataka, as is the case elsewhere, is dealing with. If you want to get industry up and running, you need laborers, you need workers. If all of them go back home, then you simply can't get industry up and running, and then that delays the whole process. But can they be stopped forcibly? Can you say, regardless of whether you want to go or not, we will not run trains, you need to stay here, you need to work? The opposition says that is heartless. And joining us on this broadcast represent the government's point of view, the BJP's point of view. It's firebrand young MP Tejaswi Surya. To present an alternate point of view, we've got Rajiv Gowda, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament, and for a third perspective, we've got Professor Yogendra Yadav, National President of the Swaraj India. Tejaswi Surya, your government is being accused of being heartless, of not being considerate to the plight of the migrants. They want to go back home, they are crying, they've been stuck, and they say, let us go back. And yet, the BJP government in Karnataka is not allowing them to go back. Is that even fair? Can the government stop them, Tejaswi, from going back if they want to go back? Tejaswi Surya?
Studio level.
Let me get in a word first from Rajiv Gowda as I try and fix that line about the problems that you think there are with the government's approach, because Rajiv Gowda, the fact is, industry went and complained to the Chief Minister saying, if we don't have these labourers and workers, we cannot get our business up and running. So the Chief Minister is only paying attention to what the industry is saying and acting on their request. Let's kickstart the conversation with Rajiv Gowda.
Rahul, what you're seeing with the way migrant workers are being treated, both by the central government and by the state government, both run by the BJP, is a clear demonstration of utter callousness and total incompetence. You don't need industrialists or builders to come and tell you that once workers go back, that they will have a difficulty in kickstarting the economy. That's why, up front, we needed to have measures when the lockdown was announced itself to ensure that people who were feeling very insecure, people who wanted to be back in the comfort of their families, that we made arrangements for them. Instead, we actually created a situation where we saw people, migrant workers, walking hundreds of miles, in the hot sun, trying to get back home, when all public transport had been shut down. Something similar is happening in Karnataka today because of Mr. Yediyurappa's decision. Mr. Yediyurappa's decision is something that we condemn outright.
Okay, Tejaswi Surya,
we know that.
The opposition is accusing your government of being callous and heartless, and if the migrants want to go back home, you can't force them to stay and work. Respond to that.
Thank you, Rahul, for having me on the show. Very outset, I would want to put a few facts straight. We must all understand that the country is in a state of lockdown. There is severe restriction on movement of persons and vehicles. So those who make the argument that movement of labor or movement of people across the country is a constitutional right do not understand that there is a reasonable restriction on that constitutional right, which is currently in place because of the lockdown, and therefore this constitutional right is suspended or reasonably restricted. Point 2. On the 3rd of May, the Union Home Secretary wrote a letter to all Chief Secretaries of all states and made it very clear that the purpose of the standard operating procedure that was earlier issued in regard to movement of people and vehicles across the country, the object was, let me read from that letter, to facilitate movement of such stranded persons who had moved from their native places or workplaces just before the lockdown period, but could not return to their native places, workplaces on account of restrictions placed on movement of persons as part of lockdown measures. The facilitation envisaged in the orders is meant for such stranded and distressed persons, not extending to those categories of persons who are residing normally at places other than their native places for work and who wish to return to their native places.
No, but the weakness in your argument, Tejaswi, is... No, but Tejaswi, other state governments, including... Sir, but other state governments, including BJP governments, have arranged for migrants to go back.
No. There is a distinction between migrant workers and there is a distinction between stranded labor, stranded workers. All that the Yediyurappa government has done is to follow in letter and spirit the MHA guidelines, which has made this clear distinction. The state government has enabled complete economic activities in the state to a substantial account even in Bangalore. Therefore, those migrant laborers who hail from different parts of the country but are here normally residing in due course and are employed, are gainfully employed because the activities have restarted. And for those people who are stranded, all arrangements will be made so that their so that their transport to their native places will be facilitated. However, that is dependent on the native state permitting them to go back. Therefore, the standard operating procedure envisages not only Karnataka sending the stranded people back, but also depends on the native state accepting them and permitting entry into the state.
I'll let Yogendra Yadav respond to the arguments you're making. You're saying there's a difference between stranded laborers and migrant laborers. Those who have jobs will get money, they will get food, so they don't need to go back, they can stay and work. Yogendra Yadav responds to Tejasvi Surya.
I'm astonished to see, Rahul, how we try and confuse the debates. Remember, we are not discussing whether Karnataka is more heartless than other. My own sense is that most governments, including the central government, has been pretty heartless. And the report on the stranded workers that has been released by a group of academic scholars says that Karnataka government has been a shade better than Maharashtra and Delhi in providing some relief to the workers. That is not what we are discussing here right now. We are not discussing whether Karnataka Chief Minister or the builders or construction industry should be able to persuade the workers or not. It is their right. They should persuade, they should offer incentive, they should do whatever to retain them. It is in their interest and it's in the interest of the workers. What we are discussing, and let us not deviate from that, what we are discussing is whether the state can cancel trains which were requisitioned by Karnataka state. I'm told more than 50,000 people from Bihar have registered with Karnataka. It is clear that Mr. Nitish Kumar's government has openly said they will accept them, they will quarantine them, and in fact, they will reimburse them later on. So they are willing to accept. On the basis of that, Karnataka government had booked no less than 10 trains. What has happened yesterday evening to cancel those trains? It is quite evident that what has happened is that a builders' lobby has met the chief minister. Now, builders' lobby is perfectly within its right to say we want to start the industry again. Please do so. But what on earth gives you the right to prevent that train from traveling? And the argument that right to freedom is curtailed right now, in this instance is completely besides the point, because the only reason for it can be curtailed at this moment is pandemic, which was already clear till yesterday. So either the Karnataka government was issuing illegal orders till yesterday night, or suddenly they have discovered illegality.
Respond to Yogendra Yadav. It makes it seem as if your government is beholden to the builders' lobby. If there are migrants or laborers or stranded or not, they want to go back home. Surely your government should show some compassion and help them go back home, especially the state government to take them.
Rahul, unfortunately, Yogendra Yadav is not a man known for attention to details. His recent tweet on confusing the 40% reduction, 30% reduction in MP salaries is a case in point. Let me not go there. In the same way, he has lost attention to details in the difference or the distinction between stranded labor and migrant workers. Now, the Karnataka state government in the last 40 days has provided for absolute all kinds of relief measures, ration kits, food, and provided them not only the DBT of 2,000 rupees for 15,60,000 construction laborers registered in Karnataka, but has also today the CM has promised that an additional 3,000 rupees will be transferred to their accounts immediately. So this is what the state government has done insofar as migrant workers, especially in the construction sector, are concerned in Karnataka. Why Yogendra Yadav is wrong is because the Ministry of Home Affairs letter, which I referred to earlier, very clearly mentions that the objective of transporting people is to facilitate only those who are stranded, who are bereft of an economic opportunity, who do not have a sustainable means of living.
Just be people who want to go back home. Sir, the
Rahul, even I want... No, Rahul, one second. Assuming I am a software engineer who has been given a job in, say, Pune or Bombay, am I allowed to go and take the job? Say let me make my case in point. I came to Bangalore the day the lockdown was announced. My parents are in Chikmagalur. Am I allowed to go and visit them? Isn't my right to travel curtailed? In the same way, in the same way that a software engineer who has a job posting in Pune or Chennai is not allowed to travel because he is not quote unquote a stranded person. In the same manner, a migrant worker who say is working in a construction site in Bangalore or is working in a carpentry unit in Bangalore and is not a stranded person will not be allowed to travel.
Okay, let both Yogendra Yadav and Rajiv Gowda want to counter you and start with Yogendra Yadav. Yogendra Yadav.
If he is a stranded person, the government will make all arrangements provided that the state accepting the native state will permit the
let Yogendra Yadav counter what you're saying.
It so happens that I have read both the letters of the Karnataka Principal Secretary and the letter of the Home Secretary. Now, is the BJP spokesperson saying that what Haryana government is doing is an illegality that violates the Home Minister's order? What the Madhya Pradesh government is inviting everyone to do, is that an illegality? Or is he saying that Karnataka does not have a single stranded worker, therefore all the trains need to be cancelled? Is he saying that more than 50,000 workers from Bihar, which Karnataka government has registered, Karnataka government was playing a joke with itself? Is he saying that all these people who want to go back home are people who have a fat salary, have a job waiting for themselves in Bihar, and therefore they are going on a luxury trip? There has to be some limit to senseless talk on national television. I think we are looking at a grave national humanitarian crisis, and the least we owe to ourselves is to keep that crisis in mind, those people in mind who desperately want to go back home. Rahul, what we are arguing for right now, what the BJP people are arguing for, is a system of modern indentured labor. This is slavery personified. In 21st century, slavery cannot be justified. You may believe that they don't need anything, but it is
forcing
not.
These workers to work.
Yes, I'm accusing them of perpetuating a system of
Let
modern
Rajiv
slavery.
Gowda also add to this, and then we'll get Tejasvi to counter.
When someone says, I will decide whether you are all right or not, whether I say that I need Rahul Kamal is the best journalist in country, so I should lock him up in a studio. That is slavery.
I am locked up for the large part, but of my own will. So
Can
yes.
I decide to lock you up?
Yeah, but that's a problem. I'd be very upset with that. Rajiv Gowda, you want to add to what Yogendra Yadav is saying, and then we'll get Tejasvi to counter.
Yeah, I agree entirely with Mr. Yadav, and the basic point here is that Tejasvi Surya is being outrageous in terms of trying to be very, very legalistic in his defense here. We saw in your own show, the way it started, the kind of emotion that people were exhibiting. If that was not an exhibition of people being stranded, of people being desperate to go back home, then I don't know what is. So essentially what you see here is a real situation where when industry needs to restart, then they need to essentially advertise and reach out to all the people who had registered earlier saying, look, we want you back. These are the conditions that we are going to provide for you. These are the ways in which we're going to make it, we incentivize you to come back. That's the way you're going to be able to restart industry, not the way the BJP is trying to force people to essentially be in servitude here and not be able to make decisions on their own.
No, forcing people into servitude, endangered labor, bonded labor, 21st century slavery, those are serious charges. We'll allow Tejasvi to counter them.
Well, Rahul, I want Yogendra Yadav ji to kindly come out of his communist delusions. We are not living in the time of 1984. So let's kindly come out of it and stop using those terminologies which can be bandied about in a communist delusional world. Coming to the case in point, the state government has made it abundantly clear that those who are stranded laborers will be provided facilities to travel to their native states if those native states will permit their entry. I am making this abundantly clear. So tomorrow, if there need be starting of 10 more trains to allow stranded labor stranded people back to their states, it will be provided if those states allow them. As regards migrant workers who are residing here, they will continue to work here because the construction activities, the other economic activities have started in full throttle, and they are provided with a sustainable means of income, and they will continue to build their lives the way they had the way they were doing earlier when they came before the lockdown. So rest assured, we can tell you, Rahul, that the state government of Karnataka is best prepared to handle and take care of all of these people, and they need not worry. As a last note, I want to say that there seems to be a nefarious design on the part of Congress and their cohorts to create a sense of panic in this country, make all of these large-scale migration to happen, to ensure that all the gains that we have done in the last 40 days goes for a naught, and the country goes back into a state of panic and
you've leveled
chaos.
some direct personal charges. I'm going to give Yogendra Yadav 20 seconds. I'm out of time.
We will not ensure that happens.
You are being accused of now being part of a conspiracy to undo all the good work the Modi government has done so far. 20 seconds. Yogendra Yadav, final word, sir.
It must have been a great conspiracy where I said Karnataka government has done slightly better relief work than Maharashtra. I'm sure it's a Congress conspiracy. I'm lovely. I mean, I think people have a hearing problem in this studio right now. To my mind, when someone says, I have given you relief, you are in a perfect situation, economy is on, everything is all right, you cannot go back. He's either saying that he knows the workers' benefits more than the workers know it, or he's saying he's the great dictator. I'm afraid 1984, which Mr. Surya happened to allude to, that's a Freudian slip. Yes, that's exactly the game being played by you, not by the communists, which I've never been in my life. Yes, it's the 1984 game that you are playing. I'm glad you reminded me of that. Maybe you want to go back and read that book once again.
Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds, Tejasvi. You're now being accused of acting dictatorial and Hitlerian in your manners.
It's about time that you paid attention to Congress's advice that we have been giving the BJP and the government right from day one. Pay attention to that advice, and you will avoid 1,000 problems that you have created by the mismanagement of migrant problems, of the crisis, of the COVID situation, and get a heart. It's very, very important to have one.
Tejasvi, final words, 15 seconds.
Rahul, while India is a shining example under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as to how to deal with the COVID crisis, Karnataka is a shining example among the states in India of how B.S. Yediyurappa has been dealing with the crisis. So, with all humility, I would want to submit that we are well positioned to handle all people in Karnataka, every resident in Karnataka, no matter which part of the country they belong to, we will take care of them. And those who are stranded, if their native states are willing to take them back, we will make all facilities available for their transport and safe exit from Karnataka.
So you've heard the BJP's point of view, you've heard the Congress and another perspective. The way I see it is very simple. If somebody wants to stay and work, they are welcome to. They have a job, they'll have money, they'll have food. If they want to get back home, it is incumbent on our government to ensure that they can get back home. You can't force them to stay, you can't force them to work. This has to be determined by the person himself. And if he says he wants to go back to Bihar, UP or where have you, that's where we need to provide transportation for him to be able to go back. Yes, talk to them, engage them, try and win them over, convince them to stay by all means. Don't say, Meri marzi, stay here. It's not the right approach. Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.